Is it even worth it to perfect guard in Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes? In this video, I'm going to show a pretty stupid tactic I just discovered with perfect guard, and I'll go over why, like the pros and cons of perfect guard. So a lot of people might think it's actually hard to pull off a perfect guard. You might be thinking there's a time attack, there's like a counterattack window where if you just keep spamming it, it won't be effective. However, in this game, that is not the case. I'm just going to spam guard, and I just got a perfect guard. Perfect guard. I'm just spamming guard. Perfect guard. Continuing to spam guard. I'm just continuing to spam block, and I'm getting perfect guards off. I'm still taking some damage though. Here, let's spam it really fast. And try to spam it as fast as humanly possible. We're still getting hit by some things. Okay, so it seems like if you spam it like this, let's not die first though. So there can be some upside to spamming it, like if you're just kind of like trying to interrupt enemies and get their stun gauge to appear, it can be useful to get that going. So you could open up a fight by getting their stun gauge to appear, just by smacking, or not by smacking, by spamming guard and eventually getting a perfect guard. On later levels, enemies attack more frequently, so this does give you an opportunity to get armor breaks pretty easily just by continuing to spam perfect guard and the fodder just hitting you. Now some main enemies, like the actual enemy units you can target, their attacks can't always be perfect guarded, but the little dumb enemies can, and that can interrupt the main target you're going after. And you can combine perfect guard with movement. So like I can like reposition, start attacking, get a dodge in there. Okay, so originally I was going to make a video outlining why perfect guard is bad and you should just go for dodges. But it's kind of clear to me that because you can just spam it and you can just keep interrupting things and producing the stun gauge as a result, there definitely is a use case. If you're running low on weapon durability and there's no more like purple crystals or whatever to refill your weapon durability, you can just do this. However, if you want to kill things fast, the easiest way to kill things is to hit them with a combat art and then start comboing them. So like this, for example. And you can easily break stun gauges by doing that. But perfect guard definitely has a use case. It just depends on if you can get the timing of it. Let's see. There we go. I still think dodge is better. If you have combat arts, like there's no... If you have enough durability for combat arts, it's much better just to do this. You get immediate shutdown of your target, high chance to produce stun gauge, like it's visible right now. And I broke it in like, 3 seconds or so. Got an armor break. But if we want to like kind of deny enemies damage, that can be good. You can still get damage though. Some enemy attacks can't be perfect guarded from what I understand. Alright, here we go. This is what you want. It's usually better to attack than to defend in this game. As you can see here. It's pretty insane. Okay, so for perfect guard, let's go over the pros and cons. The pros, easily produce stun gauge. The cons, way less damage output than just spamming attacks and spamming combat arts. Combat arts cause you to be invincible during the combat arts like animation. It also interrupts enemies, tends to produce stun gauge. So the upside of perfect guard producing the stun gauge is usually overshadowed by either dodging and getting crits, and then using combat arts, or just using combat arts in general. Now dodging and getting crits will be dealing more damage than perfect guarding, because it's much faster. Like dodging is generally faster, there's less recovery time. And you're also moving while doing it, which means you can avoid damage by repositioning. So it's kind of debatable how good perfect guard even is. Honestly, I don't think it's that good. Like you can see here, no perfect guard, easily broke this dude's armor. I'm juggling him right now. I can keep doing this until I run on a meter, and then just hit X whenever I want to do the critical rush. So there's not really, like the game is too aggressive to really have a use case for perfect guard. Like it's not the type of game where you need to carefully counter your enemy's actions, right? It's the type of game where you just run up to things and just wail on them until they're dead. And then the better you can wail on things, the better you'll, the more you'll win, essentially. It's pretty hard to lose missions in this game, in my opinion. Unfortunately, Maddening is too easy. Right now, I'm on a Maddening save. Underleveled units, fresh save Maddening. Nothing crazy. It's honestly not that hard. I think like Maddening mode on 3 houses is still much harder. Alright, we got a brawler over here. Yeah, you have like broken abilities like this ice field. You just freeze enemies. Which is pretty crazy. Let's get some combat arts in there. But yeah, like why would I need perfect guard when things like this exist, right? Like this dude's frozen forever. I'm just wailing on him until he's dead. There's really not a use case for it. I think the critical damage from dodging is just much better. Like there's truly no need for perfect dodging. Honestly, I don't even think this game needs blocking. Like if you think about what blocking does, what does it do? It reduces damage taken or prevents damage from occurring, right? Alright, so here's the use case. Get those crits. Much better. Way more damage. I still have crits too. I still have crits. I just did like, drastically increased damage from those crits. Got 2 armor breaks. Double kill. This grappler is basically doomed. You can just aggressively use combat arts. So instead of like waiting for an attack and then counterattacking, you can just get crits and just dominate your enemies. Like this isn't the type of game where enemies have like a huge attack you can perfect guard and then it actually matters. This is the type of game where you're just spamming attacks frequently. And as long as you understand how to dodge, when to dodge, when to use combat arts to interrupt enemies, you can easily beat any difficulty on this game. And then if you can get stuff like this going, look at this guy. He's just being bounced in a corner. This is his life now. This is his life until we're out of meter. And so now he gets critical rush too. Then we can back off him if we want. Just for fun. Oh, he got bounced from our adjutant. But yeah, I don't think critical rush I don't think perfect guard really matters at all. And it's usually just overshadowed by getting crits from dodging. There's very few like situations where you need it, if any, because dealing damage is almost always better than counterattacking. It's not like, in like TF2 if you're playing Pyro and someone shoots a rocket at you and you reflect it and it gets mini crit damage boosted and then also reflects that rocket back at the target, like at the person sending it. In that case, that's huge upside to counterattacking. But in this game, like, it doesn't even like reflect damage or do damage in of itself. You have to start attacking afterwards, and you're better off just going for free crits from dodging. So yeah, that's it for this video. Overall, I would say it's not worth using, even though you can spam it to produce it, like that. I could easily break stun gauge without it. It can be useful for combos in some instance, but I guess it depends on like how optimal you want to be playing. Like generally speaking, if you're the same level as the enemies on the board, you're going to be killing them so fast, you would be losing tons of DPS by perfect guarding. So it's really not worth it. But that's pretty much it for this one. I'm going to be covering some other things in the game that I find interesting or useful to make videos on. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this useful. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.